This woman is perfect and deserves the world.
Yo, dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighborhood JaxBlade is back, and for today's video, I actually got a really interesting email from a person named Animatic Coolness, who's a subscriber of mine, and I thought it would be a great video topic because, again, I'm like just so working on my freaking Goku Tough Like the Tunes, my massive TMNT comprehension video. For those who don't know, I'm doing a in-depth Goku thing, which you'll see when it's done. I don't want to give away any spoilers for it yet, and I'm also doing a massive comprehension video on the 1987, 2003, 2012, and Rise of the TMNT series because I'm passionate about both those things. So I just been putting a lot of work into both of them, and if I don't upload for 3 weeks, YouTube hates me. So yeah, that's why I want to keep doing these little uploads like this. So this is just like a little fun padding thing. But anyways, on to the question, which I just thought was freaking great. Help me with my abs. Hey Jax, I saw you're in Nosuke Tough Like the Tunes, and mad respect to your body. You look great. Oh, thanks dude, I really appreciate it. My question is, what is the best way to train abs? I hear so many mixed things about about do it this way, but then find a study that says if you only do it that way, you're doing a disservice to yourself. And I remember you briefly talking about there being 4 main categories of abs people have. Well, technically it's 5, but okay. And after this quarantine, I want to have some anime ripped abs for the beach. Love your work. So could you go further in depth? All right, sure thing, dude. So I love this question because I used to actually talk about this a lot with just like my fitness friends in general. But like, yeah, if you ever notice, like there are like different categories of abs that people have. Like there are some people who train their abs a certain way. There are some people who've never trained their abs, and there are some people who have like phenomenal stomachs, and they're like, how did you get your stomach that way? So let's just talk about like the different abs and like which ones are probably you have for yourself or ones you want to attain for yourself, the pros and cons of each one, and then, you know, like what would just look best on your personal physique, because we all want to get those sexy anime ripped abs and stuff like that, because, you know, it's freaking great.
Oh my god, you could grind meat on it.
So the first categories of abs you'll typically see on people are those who are naturally cut. And when I mean by naturally cut are when your abs just like you hit a certain age and your abs just naturally develop on your own. So you know when you were like in middle school or high school or anything like that, and you saw like a skinny kid, but they always had like a ripped stomach just because like, oh, I haven't worked out at all, I'm just skinny and my abs just popped up, just happened like that. And I remember in middle school myself seeing people like that, and I was like, dude, you are so ripped, man. You look like freaking Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man. Oh my god. And then the kid would be like, you know, into it, like, yeah, dude, I'm ripped and stuff like that. I don't even work out, man. That's what I do. And these are funny because like the way it happens is just your body, like it really depends like how active you are as a kid. Some people don't even have to be all that active. It'll just happen like genetically. And then some people, if you're like me, are just like chubby anime fanboys who get made fun of for it and blah blah blah. But I love it because like, you know what's so funny is like all these guys I knew growing up, like they developed it, and then to make it even better, because this is the cool thing about having naturally cut abs that I will always like just like tell you straight up. If you have naturally cut abs, if you build muscle on top of your frame, so you know, just like being a kid with newbie gains, going to the weight room, lifting weights and stuff like that, getting jacked, just eating a bunch because of your high metabolism, just being active, like doing sports or something like that, then your results can look incredibly impressive. Because here's the thing, like if you are a leaner frame and you add muscle to your frame, no matter what like size you are, like this, it goes like even past your teenage years. If you are someone who just has a lean frame and you add like 5 solid pounds of muscle to that lean frame, it's always going to look aesthetically more impressive than someone else who's not as cut, who adds muscle to their frame. Because the thing about it, if you're just talking about pure aesthetics, it's just the optical illusion. Just having more muscularity and more muscles on a leaner frame just makes you look a lot more muscular. So if like you're leaner, you look bigger. Like you're leaner, you look bigger. So it's just a little hack that people do. So what happens is like you'll have a bunch of kids like walking around with these, and like I remember I was salty as a kid because like these people would always just walk around and like look like freaking superheroes and stuff like that. But like here's the caveat to this. So the thing about newbie gains and being naturally cut is like, so I have like 20 friends. I literally can go on my Facebook right now, had 20 friends who had this exact same thing, and they all told me pretty much like around the same ballpark of things, is they just pretty much ate a lot. So that was just like, you know, a lot of chicken, eggs, whatever, just like fun foods to bulk up because you're a teenager, metabolism's higher, you're also being active, just being a teenager and stuff like that. And so like that's how they were able to bulk up. But the problem with that was that they didn't build up healthy habits in their younger years. So for example, if you are someone who is a beginner who has the newbie gains and you've done this and stuff like that, I always like tell you, start focusing on eating healthier or building up a healthier thing as soon as possible, because if you don't, it's going to be much harder later on. And like the thing is, like, again, I have 20 friends on my Facebook page right now. I'm not gonna put them on because that'd just be like petty and rude and stuff like that, but like they used to be like super ripped in high school, and then like they got to their late 20s and early years, but they just were so used to just eating whatever that they just put on like a pot belly. Like they put on a pot belly. I'm not trying to body shame or anything like that, but like the thing is, like they went from being so active, and they would brag about it. They would try to give diet advice, because that's something you got to be careful about with people who are naturally cut. It's like, so they put on some size to their frame just from like coaching and stuff like that, and now they think they're like a fitness expert in all regards. Because like I remember I would see like friends who were just like look like bodybuilders, like, yeah man, you know, you just need to eat more. You just need to like eat pizza, burgers, like everything, man, just to bulk up. And then like, you know, me who actually studied this stuff and was like working to get that out, I was like, you need to be careful because of this. It's just like, no, dude, listen, all right, I look better. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And then lo and behold, how's it feel now? You got a freaking belly and you're not like healthy. Like I have a friend, like I literally saw a post from someone on my Facebook. It was like, man, high blood pressure sucks, dude. Like I can't believe, like I used to be like this and now I have like these heart issues. And it's like something I brought up in videos before where I'm talking about like, yeah, if you constantly just are eating like fried chicken and burgers and pizza and all that stuff, like while you may be young and think like it's going to pay off in the long run because you're helped you bulk up during that time, when you get older, it doesn't last forever. Like especially if you're like, even though you can train, like for example, you can do this whole if it fits your macros thing in training, but like something that I always tell people to look out for is, while you can look good externally, internally you need to focus on that. So that is just stuff to watch out for where you're naturally cut. But like if you're a kid just, you know, watching this who's naturally cut right now, just take my advice. What's funny is like I'm the one who's like the ripped one now of my friend group, and I'm not trying to diss or anything like that. I always just think it's funny because it's just like I used to be like bitter on the heavier side, and then I like focused on dieting and just doing fitness like a healthy way just to get my body in shape of how I wanted it to be. So my results are long lasting and longevity, just for longevity, but like they were doing it their way and now they have like, you know, health issues. And I really, every time I talk to them, I'm just like, dude, just start eating healthier, man. You can get yourself back to that. And it's just, I just want the best for them. But again, if you're a kid with newbie gains, ripped abs right now, focus on eating healthier right now, then those results will last you much longer. They'll last you so much longer if you can focus on getting that mastered right now. Trust me on that, because it's just going to benefit you so much in the long run. Next up, let's talk about flat abs. Now, flat abs are just ones you can get through weight loss or just fat loss, you know, general and stuff like that, because everyone has abs. It's just covered by a layer of fat, and everyone has a different layer of fat for themselves, like as fat is one big organism covering the entire body. And you can just get these just like if you're following a diet and workout plan and you're not training your abs, like you can literally get abs without training your abs. It just comes from like having a low enough body fat percentage. Now, the thing about these abs is they are very flat, like the muscle is very thin, and they don't really like, you know, pop as others. Like for example, a lot of people who have these type of abs don't have developed serratus anterior right here, or like their obliques don't look as good right here or anything like that. So that is just a little thing to go like, okay, you got fashion model abs, but you don't have like, you know, like ripped, like you train your abs for them. You don't train your abs to like look super defined and diesel like that. And it's completely fine. There are some people who have this and you can have abs like that. It still looks like a great physique, just, you know, a fashion model physique. Like there are tons of women and men around who are into that sort of thing. But the thing about these abs is they can disappear rather quickly, because since they're so flat, and like if you're just, you know, going off your diet, or you just have a stress week or stress months or something like that where you start to put on weight, they can disappear rather quickly because like you didn't train them. They're not going to pop through the fat or anything like that, or they're not going to be as defined if you start adding more fat to yourself. So that's something to look out for if you just want those type of abs, but like you don't want to train them as much. So that's just like little caveats to look out for with the flat abs. Next up are the fitness/fighter type abs, and these are abs that I primarily have for myself. Like you can look like my pictures and all that stuff, like on Instagram and all that, and it's just like, or in my freaking Inosuke video, what I just did, and pretty much it's just you train your abs with high repetitions, or like a fighter does. So like, you know, people will hit you in the stomach, stuff like that. Sadly, I haven't been able to go to an MMA gym, so I haven't been able to get those in. But like, it's just a lot of high rep work, and these like actually can make your abs look a lot more defined if you actually have the abs. abs and you start doing these like daily, like for instance, I love to do like a circuit every day or something like that, like 8-minute abs or like one of those Calisthenics workouts or one of my workouts or something like that. But like, yeah, these are just certain ways I like to do it because I like to switch up how I train them. Like I train my abs like in the next 3 categories pretty frequently now just because of quarantine. I want them to like really pop more. But yeah, especially with that Goku Tough Like the Tunes, which you'll see when I get to that. But yeah, like these ones just pretty much just high reps, not going to be as massful, but they will be able to like take a punch depending on how you do it and how you train them. So I really do enjoy these. So these are just ones you train with high repetitions and you can do like circuits for them every single day. All right, next up we're going to talk about weight trained abs, and these are the thick, extra thick boys. You get these from just weight training your abs, like, you know, just adding resistance to your abdominal training. Like you can add a plate, you can add a dumbbell, kettlebell, all that jazz. And what's great about weight training your abs, like the only caveat to this one is like some people can throw out their lower backs because their lower back, their core isn't fully strong enough, and sometimes they'll use too much weight and they'll like injure themselves. So that's the caveat to these ones. Like it's easier to get injured, but the pros really are great for this because like if you build up your abs nice and thick, then you not only will they look a lot more defined, not only will they actually look like anime characters, like, oh my god, like you can grate meat on these things. They pretty much make your abs look like a shell. Like hell, that's why I did my Ninja Turtles ab training video that you can check out. Like I'll put it through somewhere, like it'll swipe across. But yeah, this is one of the main reasons I really like these, because it makes your stomach look like a complete shell. It takes your abs to the next level. And then also another benefit of this is like if you go off on your diet, right? Like let's say you're like, or your nutrition, right? And you start to, you know, eat and gain a bit more fat, you know, because older metabolism slowing down or something like that, or you're just in a bad place. Like if you've built up your abs to be like thick like this, then if you add more fat, they still poke through. So you can have a higher body fat percentage and probably feel better, and then like still have your abs still poking through and still just, they look good. Like your abs would still look good in this regard. So I always recommend like weight training abs, like, you know, if you can, like 3 days a week or 2 days a week, something like that. But again, always keep your lower back safe because that's the most important thing to do when training your abs like this. But like, let's get on to the final one because I think this is just one of the best for overall stuff. But then next up we have core training, and I love core training. Core training is the reason I'm able to hold a human flag and able to do like, you know, dragon flags and do planches and stuff like that. And like I'm working back to getting my handstand push-up down so I can like do those again for that, again, my thing. I'm not gonna talk about it, but like you already know. And these are so great because like they force you to work like static holds, and it works like the entire trunk. It works like the abdomen, but it also works the lower back, and it works just this entire trunk right here. And like you can do like, you know, freaking cool stuff with it. Like if you can master your core, like build up your core strength, you can do a lot of cool things, because there are people out there who have like super defined abs, like they're just insanely ripped, like chiseled out of like Greek gods. And then there are people with like strong cores who not only look chiseled out of Greek gods, but they can do all this cool stuff like, you know, handstand walking or like, you know, planches or fancy, all that stuff, like all those cool calisthenic like static holds and stuff like that, and just building them up, like, you know, with like L-sits and, you know, other stuff, like how all the exercises I mentioned previously, and then, you know, gradually building up to them. Like these are some of the best just for like impressive nature, but also functionality as well. Like these will also keep your lower back safe, because a lot of people don't focus on the lower back, and that's really important when focusing on your core, because if you don't have a strong lower back, then all of this, like you can get injured there a lot more if you're like just doing crunches every single day. That's why it's always important to train your lower back in addition to training your abdomen, because that's what always F's people up. So train the core. Not only will it help define your muscles there, like this is why gymnasts are so freaking ripped there and have just such amazing specimens of abdominals. Like arguably, like I'd say gymnasts sometimes have better abs than like freaking bodybuilders at times, just from when you see how defined they are from the work they can do and what they can accomplish. So I would always tell people, work your core. Like that's why I have a whole like program for it called Almighty Abs, where I talk about hitting all of these categories so you can build them up. Like you can check the description box down below. But yeah, like I love core training. Like I want to get back into it more frequently so I can hold my human flag a bit more. Like I can only hold it for, I think, like not as long as I want to. Like the last time I tried was like 5 seconds. I wanted to see if I can get up to like 20 or something like that. But like, again, quarantine, don't want to leave the house, don't have a pole to like, you know, practice on in the house. It's not going to break apart. So yeah. Just gotta stick with it, but yeah, definitely try some core training. It's a good way to switch up your training and then good way to just build up, and there are various ways to build up to it. Well, dudes and dudettes, I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope you learned something. Be sure to hit that bell icon and subscribe. Be sure to hit that like button down below. And if you got this far in the video, type hashtag almighty abs. It helps me know who got this far in the video, and I also want to know. And then like, tell me, what kind of core do you want for yourself, or what kind of abs do you have for yourself right now? Because I know I have a lot of people who also have ripped abs watching this. So tell me what you prefer and why. Like, let's start get a discussion going, and I love to see it because I love like everyone has like just like their perfect aesthetic for themselves. And again, like, I want this to be perfectly clear. If you don't have abs and you don't like the ab aesthetic, this is not me talking down to you at all. Like, I want to make that perfectly clear. You don't have to. Not everyone has the same body type. That's why I talked about that in my like do stuff for yourself. Like, if you don't like the ab aesthetic for yourself, that is completely fine. Don't ever feel bad for it. Don't ever let anyone talk shit to you about that. Like, you enjoy what you want to do, and don't ever feel like, oh my god, because I'll never get all these women to like me unless I have abs, because that's how I used to be. But like, honestly, girls just like personality. All right, like most of the women I hooked up with, like, they were like mostly interested in me because of the personality. So I just wanted to say that, like, the body helps. No, don't get me wrong, the body helps a lot. No, I'm gonna just tangent into something that is gonna be like something I talk to other people about, which I don't want to. But yeah, work on your core. Tell me what kind of abs you like for yourself, which ones you want, like men, women alike, because like it goes for both sexes. It goes for everything, non-binary, whatever. And yeah, you know, just, you know, trying to be inclusive all around, like, so no one feels left out. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. And remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, don't forget, momentai. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I gotta get back to work on my TMNT and Goku thing. So hope you enjoy. Peace.